Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface. Now, I get quite a few requests for Wrathion Legendary storyline questing. I had to say that very slowly, because knowing me, I would have cocked it up. But anywho, it's been very difficult to bring to you guys, because so far, virtually everything we've done with the Wrathion storyline has involved just lots and lots and lots of farming. And I'm pretty darn sure you don't want to watch a video of me stuck in looking for raid, trying to get hold of some secrets. No, for that stuff you go to my live streaming. But I've managed to get the 20 secrets of the Empire that's required and the 40 trillion bars to hand into Wrathion, and we've now got a single player scenario which is featured by the Thunderforge. And yes, this came in patch 5.2, but at least it's something which I can give you content-wise for the Legendary, because I heard quite a few rumours from people, so I did a little bit of investigation as to the final boss here. And I read a lot of posts from people going, "The final boss is impossible! It's impossible!" So I thought to myself, well, okay, I've killed Canrathad. I've killed Canrathad multiple times. How on earth can this be more difficult? So I had to go find out. So first of all, we've got a typical kind of protection quests where Wrathion is doing something with that obelisk over there. As to what, I don't know. Rumour has it he's just taken a tinkle, but I couldn't possibly comment. And when he's doing that, we've got lots of Mogu which are coming in and trying to prevent him from emptying his bladder, which is really nasty. That's not nice, is it? Because I don't know about you, but I've been in those situations where I've been desperate to go to the loo and then you can't for one reason or another. Somebody's in the bathroom, or I think I'm digressing. Anywho, during the course of the fight, he will bring in these little electrical orbs that have a big blue arrow that says, "Touch me! Touch me!" So guess what? Touch them, because they'll put a buff on you. And what will happen is that your damaging spells will be increased by 50%. But not only that, when you heal yourself, it will actually damage nearby enemies for 100% of the heal as a damage. So that's pretty cool. I believe it's called Overcharge. So if you ever get the option to pick one up, grab it. It really does help. And by the way, for anybody that's actually paying attention to the video and saying, "Az, you don't have Dark Intent up," that's just how I roll. And it wasn't because I completely and utterly forgot to put it on, because I'd just come straight from a raid. Let's move on. So, we're about halfway-ish through this initial stage, and we get regular Mogus, and then every once in a while we'll get an elite Mogu, and it eventually ends up with a big bad boss Mogu entering the fight for us to kill. He does a couple of lightning based attacks. If you see them on the floor, don't go near them. It's regular raid boss 101 rules applied. If there is something blue, something shiny, and emanates from the boss, don't go near it. Don't go near it. But do remember to pick up your blue orbs and get your overcharge for extra bits of damage. So this phase for me kind of went on a bit too long. If it was shorter, it would have just felt a little bit tidier, but it wasn't that bad. It's okay. It really kind of cemented you in to the storyline if that's what they intended. And don't worry, for all of the people that are going absolutely crazy that I don't have Dark Intent on, I think it's roughly around now that I actually realised. Anywho, we're moving on to the next stage, which is actually stage 4, where we enter the Thunderforge itself. And here is where we have a couple of pretty decent and cool fights. And I rather like this. Wrathion goes into his little whelpling form and flies in. He's really cute, even though I don't trust him for one moment. And I was rather happy on the Alliance side to see that Anduin also shares the same philosophy as myself. He doesn't trust Wrathion either. And if Blizzard are saying don't trust Wrathion, then maybe there's something in store for him. Maybe in this expansion, maybe not an expansion. How many times can I say maybe? Anywho, we move on to the next phase where we've got a couple of celestial beings, because it looks like the Thunderforge is actually a Titan-made product. Yes, although I think its guarantee's pretty much expired. And during the course of this next phase, you have to keep the Celestial Blacksmith alive from all these Shah energies. Now, I have a theme running throughout the course of this video, and the theme is, I'm really not paying attention. I don't know why, but for one reason or another, I'm really not paying attention. First of all, I don't put my dark intent. Secondly, I have these wonderful things flashing on my screen saying, as the blacksmith has just charged up an anvil. Click it, it will kick ass. Do I? No. I just carry on and carry on and carry on and DPS the ads on my own without touching a single anvil. So don't be like me. When the blacksmith has actually charged one of the anvils up and there's lots of ads around, click it. It will really, really, really hurt them. But this is the final stage, and this is the boss which seemed to cause some problems. Now, it took me a couple of attempts to get an idea for it, but I got the idea in the end. So, first of all, let this celestial being try and take the aggro as best as possible. Try and avoid also these shadow crashes which come down, or Shah crashes, as they are in this case, which of course I didn't. But never mind. This is the ability that you need to worry about, the insanity ability. When he starts to cast it, click an anvil and it will interrupt. If you don't interrupt, you may have seen my health plummeted because it ticks for around 130k, and that's pretty much every second. This is what seems to be causing the problems. Lots of people, I believe, from what I could gather, were simply starting the fight, running around, clicking all the anvils that they possibly could, so it dealt good damage to the boss. By the time they clicked all the anvils, the boss was on about 30 to 40% of its health, but then when Insanity came in, they couldn't do anything to protect themselves and were getting wiped. But throughout the course of the fight, the boss will also go and banish the Celestial Guardian. So you've got to be very careful, because when they do banish it, you will get the aggro. When the aggro comes to yourself, you've got to do everything in your power to keep yourself alive. Now, if you're a plate class, I don't imagine you'll take the kind of damage that a clothy like me does, but thankfully I've also got a pet which I can bring into the fight that takes the aggro off of myself. It only stays banished for a short period of time, so it's not as if you have that long to survive. If you want to run, by all means run, because the big thing of the fight is always, always, always interrupt the insanity with one of the anvils. I think at the moment I've only used 2. The meteor storms here, just run and avoid. If you stand still, they will literally home in on you. So this is a meteor storm which does kind of home in on you. Yes, there are random blobs of Shah, but as you can see, where I'm running, the meteors are running as well. So just make sure that you keep on the move at that time. Kill Jaden's Cunning is such a wonderful spell to use in this instance, he said, with colossal amounts of irony. Now then, the boss is roughly on about 40% of the health. I've got full charges with my Burning Embers. I still can't avoid a Shah crash. Hey, Chihuahua, what was wrong with me that day? But, as I also realised I still didn't refresh Dark Intent from my last wipe, I unload as much as I possibly can into the boss. Here we go, another banish on the Celestial Defender, which means the boss will now take my pet. Here comes Insanity. Click on to the anvil. Voila. It's all pretty basic stuff. So this unkillable boss is very, very killable indeed. It's just a matter of getting your tactics right. If you're running around this area, knocking off all the anvils to start with, of course you're going to die, because you got nothing whatsoever to interrupt the insanity with. But also, when he's doing the meteor storms and other abilities, sometimes you may, as you saw there, be able to interrupt. So if you're a melee, sometimes he won't even be able to get those off. All you have to do is kick, interrupt, or anything like that to prevent it from coming out. Personally, I would recommend you used it more for the meteor shower as opposed to the Shah crash. You can always just run and move away from the Shah crash as we hit another of the anvils, which leaves us with 1, 2, 3 or so. So really, I could have gone on and hit the other anvils to do more damage, but Wrathion is saying, Az, come over here. I've got a big sword and stuff. It's actually a polearm, but you get the drift, which has now been charged up from the Thunder Forge. So we now have an extra action button. I run this over to the debilitating Shah, and click, boom, everything dies. Oh my goodness, look at my health. I cut it fine, didn't I? But let's face it, it wasn't the best from myself. I've done a lot better than that. But it just goes to show, the final boss in this scenario, very, very killable indeed. And I think that was my third attempt on it. 1 and 2 just to have a look at the fight. 3 to actually finish it off. So, I hope that's helped some people out. I will continue with the Wrathion scenarios as and when they come about. Of course, I'm not going to show you silly farming for trinkets like rune forges and stuff. Anywho, hope you enjoyed the vid. Please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Twitter, like my Facebook, and also follow my twitch.tv/heel versus babyface. When Wrathion stops waffling, I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Oh, and don't die, Wrathion says. Pro advice from Deathwing Sun.